Hi guys, it's Jane. Now, as you know, Cheryl over at Vixen Purple Crochet and More, I think that's the name of her channel. I'll leave a link down below. She's been doing this series, going through her totes of yarn, those kind of things, looking to see what she has in those. And I have found a couple of things that I probably need to look at. But I have a tote here that's not full. And I also have a bag here that I have not looked at in quite some time. So I'm going to look into this bag. I know there's yarn in it. Yeah, that's all that's in it is yarn. But I need to go through it and see what's there, what needs to be wound up, what needs to go to be put in totes for the move. Because I'm already starting to pack things up, those kind of things, even though the house is not sold yet. So, let me figure out how to open up this baby and let's get into her. There we go. Oh boy, there's a whole lot of little skeins and things. I see a lot that needs to be wound into cakes. Okay, I have what looks like this cobblestone. I do have a full skein of it. However, it looks like I have two partial skeins that actually need to be joined together, so I will be winding those up. Oh wow, I didn't even realize I had this. Date Night by Lion Brand. Do you remember that? Date Night with the sparkles? This is lapis. I have what looks like 2 cakes of those. Those are going to go into the tote. They are ready to go. And then I have just a whole bunch of miscellaneous balls. So, what I am going to do now is I'm going to turn you guys off and I'm going to get my ball winder and then we will get to winding up some of these cake balls together to make cakes. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to start with the cobblestone. We're going to get that wound up first. I've already got it on the winder. So I'm just going to wind and we'll just kind of talk as I wind. The cats have been having a blast with me, all in all, getting ready to do this move and everything. They've been jumping in boxes, laying on top of the boxes, climbing them, climbing the totes, and that's been a whole lot of great fun. Not. Every once in a while, I hear them in there, and I'm like, what are they doing? Izzy got stuck in one of the boxes. When she had climbed into one of the boxes, another one fell on top of it, and she couldn't figure out how to get out, so she was kind of freaking out. That was kind of crazy. That was a lot of fun, laughing at her, you know. And I know I shouldn't laugh at her. She can't help it. Poor little kitty got lost. But, you know, sometimes you gotta laugh at them when they do stupid things. I am going to tie these two together. I do use a magic knot. And then I cut my strings because I know it's for me. And I know that I'm going to use it. And I know that it's a magic knot. And I have yet to have a magic knot come undone. So, other knots that I've done, overhand knots, have come undone in pieces. And these, they don't come undone, and they usually get hidden pretty well in the crochet. I used to do a kind of like a Russian, almost like a Russian join in the past, where I would lay one over the other, and sometimes I would weave them in with the needles, sometimes I wouldn't, and I found that that works well too. Knitting, that's what I generally do when I'm knitting, is kind of like a Russian weave, but you don't actually have to weave threads in through the into the material. You can just lay them crisscross and then crochet or knit that in to your work, and generally it works out pretty well. At least that's what I've found. Haven't had any issues. So yeah, I have finished 2 afghans. The honeycomb, that painted honeycomb, I decided it was large enough. In fact, I ripped out that second ball of the one color that I was adding in. I ripped that completely out so that I could basically start over. And not start over, so that I could be done with it. And I just did a simple half double crochet around it to not really put a border on it, just go around the whole thing with half double crochet, 1 row. Finished it off, and it's good to go. It's done, and that's the way I'm gonna leave it. And yeah, I do roll the label. If I have the label in, do roll that in so that I can stick it in the center when I pull it off the winder. Generally, I just stick it right there and then pull off. Well, that stuck to the tape. Wasn't that wonderful? That's okay. We still got it in there. It's in the center. And it's going to go right next to its other buddy, the other cobblestone. I would imagine I'll probably take that later on, maybe make some scarves with it. But I do need to fill in this tote so that it is full. And I found, this is Mexicana. And look at that. This is a mess. This is really old. This is back when Red Heart was called Coats and Clarks. When it was owned by Coats and Clarks. Now it's owned by, look at that label. Isn't that an oldie? Now this one says it's 100% virgin wool. I didn't realize that it was wool at one time. That's interesting. Maybe that's why it's kind of sticking to itself. It's because it's wool. Got to find an end. I actually think I have a couple of crazy strands that are attached here somewhere. This probably may have been something that I picked up, was given to, gifted by someone. Well, there's the center. Boy, it matted up. Look at all these strings coming off of it. All right, we're going to get her in there, get her started. Yeah, I did not realize that this was considered virgin wool. I would have thought that it was acrylic. So I'm a little surprised to see that it is virgin wool. and in such bright colors. Like I said, this is one of those. It is called Mexicana. The dye lot on this is 8210. I think the number looks like it's maybe 950 Mexicana or 850. It does feel like wool, but yeah. Oh boy. It's going to be a lot of fun winding this one up. A lot of stops and starts. Did you know that at one time the Red Heart did produce just plain wool, virgin wool? But who knew it was in such bright colors, right? I mean, come on, Mexicana is pretty bright, pretty vivid colors. I do find it interesting. It says we do suggest that you, on the label it says we suggest you purchase significant yarn of one dye lot, as different dye lots may vary in shade. Like I said, this is an oldie but goodie. We've already come apart. Oh yeah, this is definitely a wool. Easy to break. Maybe that'll get made into a hat. Got a lot of breaks on this one. Then again, if I had picked this up at Scraps and Skeins, you know, in one of those freebie bins, who knows? That may have been where I picked it up at. Because that is one of my favorite places to shop. You know, especially if you're getting free yarn. I don't care if it's wool or not. But since I am finding that this is wool, I think whatever I make out of it, I will felt. Just because there are a lot of ends in this. That are not together. And yeah, I am going to wind it up with the knots in it. Since it is wool. Well, we might as well add you in. You might as well come along for the ride. Since you're all in pieces anyway, let's just put you all together again. It'll make you a unique little ball. I was reading the other day where it looks like there are some more monoliths that have come about in the desert in Nevada, I think, again. So apparently, you know, there are quite a few people just having fun putting those out around town or whatever. Who knows? So I do find that rather interesting, you know, to see those kind of things. And of course, you know, the story will be on What in Tarnation, because that's always a fun thing to do. Find all those stories and read them all. Find the strangeness that goes on in our world. And boy, we seem to have a lot of it. Don't we? Have an absolute mess of it. I was watching yesterday where the news was talking about how the fearless leaders of Russia and China have made this little pact. They're going to be doing some war games together, that kind of thing. So that should be interesting to see what comes of that. And of course, Saudi Arabia, for the first time in quite a few years, is no longer using the US dollar as a basis, and they've not signed a contract again for us with the oil. So that means that OPEC most likely is going to start raising those prices again. Which, you know, I find kind of sad because we were pretty much dependent of that oil. We are now once again dependent of it, which there's no reason for us to be. We have so much oil and gas in our country, it would sustain us for probably 200 to 300 years more. So there's no sense in just letting it go to waste. But we do have an administration that wants to let it go to waste. So there you have it. Kind of stuck with that option right now. And I always find it interesting. You know, whenever there's a lot of, on the stock market, when we see a lot of things going up and people making a lot of profit businesses, that the left will always say, well, it's corporate greed. Well, you know, I always wonder, why does it mostly happen under Democrats? You know, under Democratic administrations. That's not a good thing. You know, all of us are suffering because of it. Yet they want to always tell us, you know, they're for the poor, they're for the people. No, they're for their pockets. That's what they're for. And then you look at all these people that are getting rich off all these things that, you know, that are serving as public servants, supposedly. They're making these wheels and deals and things based on the knowledge they have with what laws and things that they're passing. And I'm sorry, that should be outlawed, but you know, they're not going to outlaw themselves. They'll regulate us, but they won't outlaw themselves. You know, why would we begrudge them money, right? So, I don't know. I just find it interesting. And I don't think there's any easy answer because, you know, unfortunately, once they get into office, they're not going to make rules that would hinder them in their money making, right? Why would they want to do that? Oh, look at this. I have a nice little brightly ball of yarn. I think I'm going to add that in to a cake with this other little maroon color I've got going on, or raspberry-ish color. Almost looks like it might be a dark raspberry. I would imagine it most likely is a red heart yarn. Just knowing me, I don't mind red heart. I know there are a lot of people that say they don't like it. It's coarse, whatever. Doesn't bother me a bit. I do enjoy a red heart yarn. Mainly because when they wash up, they do wash up really soft. Soft and beautiful. And they are a workhorse. They last forever. I don't see a lot of pilling with it, which I do find a bonus. Do enjoy that part, that there's no crazy pilling going on, and I just think it makes a nice little yarn. You get back down there. Stop that. I'm seeing a lot of browns in this one, maybe some greens, a couple of crazy colors. I can tell you right off the bat, this is a yarn that I did a center pull ball, most likely using my thumb to create. If I didn't have a ball winder handy, many times if I had a little bit of a skein left, I would just wind it up using my thumb. Seemed like it was a little bit easier to do at the time, and that's the way I would do it. I do enjoy using the ball winder much. I think it makes a better formed cake than when I would do by hand. However, you know, you gotta use the tools you got available. And sometimes it's your hands. Yeah, I can add another little bit there. Have enough room to add a little bit more. I have a small off-color tan that I'll add on to this one at the end. I hope where you guys are that you're not having the kind of heat that we are. It is awful here. I've been out a couple times this week with the heat that it is, and it's so draining. I don't do this humid heat well at all. It makes me cranky, very cranky. You know? Of course, cats, they've been laying around on the floor a lot, basically telling me it's hot. Turn on the AC. Well, the AC is on, but I'm not going to turn it down so low that we get sick. But, yeah, I just don't do heat well at all. At all. And some of these cakes are going to go in this tote that I have over here because they need to. Let's see, we have another tan one that we'll start out with and add in some browns. See a couple of browns in there I'm going to mix in with this. Make it a manly color. Make it a manly cake. That's what we'll do. We'll make it a manly cake. I had found a bag of project bags is what I call them. I had forgotten all those bags that I had purchased from, I think it was Fisk. You know, they're in England. And found the bag and it's like, oh, I forgot about these. Oh, I really like that one. I love this color. Why did I not get it back out? So yeah, I've been having fun playing with those a little bit. Gotta find the end of this yarn here. All right, get you tied in. Ronan has been a little bit of a needy cat lately. Feels like he has to get in my lap quite often. Needs some sugars. Not sure what he's going on with him. But it's rather interesting to see him be so needy. Because this is a cat that, one, he does not like for me to pick him up. He will get in my lap. He will sit by my side. He will lay by my side. But the minute I try to pick him up, hold him, he's like, hold up. Nope, we don't do that. So seeing him in his needy phase is rather interesting. And, you know, maybe that's because he's wondering what's going on with all the boxes and whatnot. Who knows? Who knows what goes through these cats' minds, you know? You'd think they'd be thrilled to see the boxes. And I know they are, but because a box is a toy to a cat. So, yeah. But like I said, it's interesting to see him in that needy phase. That's really unusual for him to be in that. But he has been that way this week. Exceptionally needy. And yes, that's my phone going off in my pocket. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes I just turn the stupid thing off. And I'm not sure what's going on with the Facebook thing, because it seems like every other day, you know, there's more people asking to add you in as a friend. Of course, they're all men, you know, which I find rather funny. These men, you know, supposedly engineers, code word for scammer. If they're not engineers, then they work on an oil rig. Code word, scammer. The other one is military doctor, scammer. And I've kind of outgrown the phase of messing with them, having fun with them. Kind of done with that, so now I'm just kind of leaving them alone. But I do find it interesting, you know, how they try to come up and friend you and everything else constantly. It's like, really? Come on, people. And of course, you know, that doesn't go against Facebook standards. But by golly, if I, you know, like too many posts or put up too many posts within too early a time, oh my God, that breaks their standards. So yeah. Woo, let's do this one. Little brightly colored one. Gonna add it to a few others. And I'm sure this is a ball I gained along the way. Either somebody left it at Prayer Shawl, or I got it at Scraps and Skeins, or maybe it may even have been something that I worked on and didn't keep the ball band, because, I wasn't doing that for a long time. Now I like to see how much yarn I've used in a year, so I like to keep the ball bands for the year to see what I've done, what I haven't done. Mainly because since I generally give everything to Prayer Shawl Ministry or give it away somewhere, I don't always know what I have done, and I don't keep track of it in a notebook. And yes, I know I should, but just, I start a notebook. I have good intentions at the beginning of the year to do that. Start a notebook, and then maybe 3 days later, I don't know what I've done with the notebook. Can't find the stupid notebook, and have moved on. Well, thank you, Ronan, for helping me there. He thinks we're playing. It's like balls of yarn. Yay, Mom's got the yarn out. Let me see if I can take it and carry it off. Izzy usually carries off the balls of yarn. I'll start winding one and have it down there. I have a small little basket, or sometimes I use a shoebox down below me to hold the yarn while I'm winding it. If there's a ball of yarn in there, many times Izzy will pick up the ball, start walking away with it, and I'm like, no, leave it, leave it. She's like, oh no, it's mine now. Sorry, Mom, it's mine. So, yeah, it's funny to watch these cats do that. And of course, Izzy, she has that little stuffed toy that she likes to carry around with her. When she's feeling stressed or whatever, she will pick up her little, like I was saying, then she will come up and get in my lap with that little stuffed toy, or leave it by my feet, sit on my lap to get some loving and some hugs, and then she's off. She's good. But it's cute to watch her carry around her little stuffed toy. Yeah, it's funny to watch these cats with that, but and I have never seen cats do that before with stuffed toys. Now, Thomas's cat, Caitlin, and Kodiak, my cat, when he was alive, they did like to play fetch. With the mice that have the little beads in them that when they shake, they make noise. They used to love to play fetch. So that was always rather interesting to watch them with their fetch, that kind of thing. I don't know whether I got fur or whether I got fuzz in my mouth. Well, guys, I have a few more balls to wind up and get going and get this tote taken care of. But I think that I have yammered on long enough about nothing. So I am going to let you go for now, and I will see you again later. You guys have a great week. Hope you enjoyed this chatter about nothing. At least you can work on your whip while you're listening, right? All right, everybody, have a great week. See you soon. Bye.